Hey everyone, my name is Santi, and today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how to use Google Forms to help you and your business succeed as a brand new Amazon seller. Let's get to it. So one of the biggest things that, this is a brand new channel, as I'm sure you guys can see. This is a brand new channel. And I was just thinking, like, what should my first video be? Like, I don't really know. I'm brand new to this. I don't know what should my first video should be. And then I just kind of sat and thought, I was like, I think the first video should be like how to get set up, right? Like the base of like how to be safe when it's this business. So this is the way that I do it personally, and obviously you could do it any other way, but this is how I organize my stuff. So you're gonna go into Google, then you're gonna go into Google Forms specifically. You're gonna go to blank form. Then from there you can go and change the color. You can change it up all the way that you want. But the most important thing is we're gonna go and we're gonna start putting our information in here. So I personally have order breakdown as a title, right? Same thing, order breakdown. Then down here I put breakdown of all current inventory. Then we go to date. Boom. So as you can see, it auto-propagated for the date. So now I want to go and hit this required button. The required button makes it required for me to answer that question, right? So that's something that you want to make sure. Not all of them, but most of them have that. Next, we're going to go into ASIN. Leave it as short answer, required, and then boom, next question. And then as you can see, we're starting to move now. Now we go product name, required, next. Then we have profit, boom, required, next. ROI percentage. So this one I don't put required because the ROI is always changing. Oh, it shouldn't be multiple choice. It should be short answer. There you go. So as you can see, so far we have date, short answer, short answer, short answer, short answer. Now continuing on. We have sales per month. So we want to know the volume. Same thing for this one. I'm leaving it like not required. So that way because that's always fluctuating. So I just leave that unrequired. I still input the information, but I don't put it as required. Cost price here. So this is what it costs, right? For what it costs you to actually get the product itself. Next is buy box price. So what is it currently being sold for, right? So the buy box, leave it unrequired as well. Next we have number of sellers. There you go. And then same thing. We're not going to put required for that one. Next, after that, we're going to do item quantity. This one is going to be required. Continuing on. Next, we have destination. So destination means like whether if you're sending it to your house, you're sending it to your warehouse, you're sending it to a prep center, or wherever you're sending it, you want to know where it's going. So that way you can keep track of your inventory. So that's why your destination, that's why I put that there, and that's a required one. And then we continue. Next is total cost. Right? So total cost required. Short answer, perfect, add. Boom. Next. Per unit cost. Required. Short answer, perfect. After that, we have website. So this one I don't put as required, but this is a very important one. So let's say that you find, let's say you find this water bottle and it's profitable in December, and it's been profitable in December. So you're going to want to put that website in. So like when December comes, you can go and source, and you can just go straight onto the website and find that product. So you're not sourcing, you're not looking and spending extra time looking for it when you already have the information available to you. I don't put that one as required, but I always put the website. So next is return date. That's important, right? Required. Because we want to know when I can return my products, just in case if it got regated, if it got or any issue, if it got IP complaint or whatever may happen, I want to make sure that I know when is my date for return. Next, we go to received product. So this one's going to be a multiple choice. This is where it changes up a little bit. It's going to be a multiple choice, and then we're going to put yes, no, and then other. Or actually, I can just add other. So the reason why we're doing yes, no, or other for received product. So it's if you received any product, right? So like, let's say for example, I bought 100 units of 100 units of water bottles. So let's say you bought 100 units of water bottles, but at the prep center, they only received 98 units, or at Amazon, they only received 98 units. So you're gonna go in here and you're gonna put 2 missing, right? So you can put what you're missing, so that way you can go and file claims with Amazon or with your prep center and figure out what's going on, so they can investigate, or you can get paid out for those items. Okay. Next, we're gonna have. Oh, I didn't mean it up there. Here you go. Next, we're going to go here, and then it's gonna be short answer. Or no, it's going to be multiple choice, excuse me. So this one is cards, right? So here's where you're going to put your credit cards that you're using. So for example, let's say you're using your Amex, let's say you're using a Chase Inc., for example, PNC card, XYZ, right? So whatever card you're using, you can just put them here, and then that way, when it's time, for tax time specifically, you know what card you used it on, you know what the charge was, and you have it all there. What you're going to do is you're going to go and hit this little plus sign. Oh, wait, more important, cards required for sure, required one. Now, this is the most important tab of all. You're going to go here and you're going to press file upload. When you hit file upload, you press continue. And over here, I'm going to go and put invoice / receipts. So now this is very important. So this way you can go and save your invoices and save your receipts for straight onto your Google Sheets. The reason why it's so important is, let's say that for whatever reason Amazon is doubting that your product is legit, or customers claiming that it's damaged or whatever it may be, and they need to know if it's an authentic product. You want to have that invoice and receipt somewhere easily accessible, so if that does happen, you can reply in under 30 minutes. The reason why, the faster you can reply, the faster you get your account on. Section 3 is deactivate your account until you can prove that you're not trying to harm their brand, Amazon's brand specifically. So that's one of the most important things when it comes to Amazon, and to be safe regarding as being a new seller. Because as a new seller, that's the hardest part, right? Because you don't know, you just want to buy stuff you don't really know, and then you don't really track anything. So that's why I think this is one of the very first videos that should be out there, because you should be tracking everything from day one. The very first item, you should have your invoice and receipt saved somewhere. Now what you're going to do, you're going to make sure to hit required, right? Now what I want you to do is go up here and go to responses and then link to sheets. Order breakdown responses, perfect, create. Now as you can see, I have my timestamp, my date, my ASIN. I have all the information here that I was looking for. And most important is I have the invoice and receipt. So now that I have all my information, every single time that I pick up an item, any item, any inventory that I pick up, it's going to auto-populate here after I fill out the Google Forms. And most importantly, like I said, is that invoice and receipt number, right? You want to have that saved just in case if anything happens. You always want to it's better to be safe than sorry in this business all day. But yeah, that is how to be safe as a brand new Amazon seller using Google Forms, and in under 10 minutes. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much.